Hey Mello, did you ever get a chance to watch that Blue Eye Samurai show?
Actually, yeah. I went to go watch one episode and ended up binge watching the entire season.
Well, if it had you binge watching, then it must be good, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, come on, Mel. Surely you can give me a little bit more than that.
What do you want me to say? I enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but what was it about? Like, sell me on the show or something. I don't know.
Okay, I see. You want me to review the whole show for you.
Exactly. Let's do it right now. This can be our Blue Eye Samurai Season 1 review. You game?
Not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm game.
Okay, let's get it.
Ava, set course for the Netflix universe. Next stop, Blue Eye Samurai.
Roger that. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
The man I met.
All Kyoto is talking about the unnamed samurai who cut through Shinro Dojo.
Is no man.
You dead-eyed half-blooded demon bastard!
A demon. Eyes empty.
I want to know everything there is to know about your demon.
I have a name.
You look like an unreal!
I only know his name.
No one will ever know it.
I'm on the path of revenge. There's no place on it for love or friendship
Nothing can stop him.
or weakness.
Mizu.
Blue Eye Samurai is a French-American animated series created and written by Amber Noizumi and Michael Green. It was also directed and produced by Jane Wu. During Japan's Edo period, around the 17th century, a half-European, half-Japanese swordmaster named Mizu embarks upon a quest for vengeance against the 4 European men who were in Japan illegally at a time when Japan's borders were closed by the Tokugawa shogunate. Mizu sets out to kill these men, but in particular their father, who forced themselves upon their mother, which resulted in Mizu being viewed as less than for their blue eyes. Mizu has these legendary epic battles with many different types of enemies. They even take on multiple enemies at once. There are multiple sword fights, arrows that block out the sun, love, sex, betrayal, an extremely adult series blanketed in beautiful art and animation. Not to mention the soundtrack is fantastic, and so is the acting as well. The pacing is fantastic. The length of the episodes are very satisfying. The cliffhangers leave you wanting for more. There are political elements incorporated within the series, but done in a fun way, and you get to learn more about 17th century Japan. I've already mentioned how amazing the art and animation is, but my god, every damn scene seems like a thumbnail or a painting in and of itself. I love the variety of villains, the variety of characters, and how different everyone seemed to be. I spoke about Mizu and how they seek vengeance, but it's not that surface level. I spoke about the political elements, but there are social ones as well that influence the main character greatly. The fight choreography is top tier. There is blood and gore and viscera. Everything seems to make sense and it's all connected. Blue Eye Samurai is a 10 out of 10 series. It comes highly recommended by yours truly. But I cannot state this enough. There is nudity. It's definitely M for mature. It's a lot of blood, a lot of guts, a lot of severed limbs, and a lot of adult content. However, if you choose to watch this show, if you choose to embark upon this journey, and you should, you're in for one hell of a ride.
Damn. This series is a lot darker than I thought.
Yeah, this series is a lot, but that was just a quick little synopsis. In order for us to dive deeper, I'm going to need to talk about spoilers moving forwards.
Thanks for the spoiler warning, but I'm in this until the very end. I have to know where this story is going. So please, let's continue.
Okay, so with the spoiler warning issued, it's time to dive. Now the cliffhanger for episode 1 is that Mizu is a woman, and this is interesting because this presents new dynamics for the character of Mizu that we're about to discuss.
Wow, I actually didn't see that one coming. Interesting.
Now, throughout this entire series, Mizu is fighting many different kinds of battles on multiple fronts. Now sure, Mizu may fight enemies with swords and bow and arrows, but that's simply the physical battle, a more surface level conflict to be sure. However, I believe that Mizu's true battle is a psychological one.
Well, they do say that you are your own worst enemy.
Not only does she have to combat against the bigotry that exists during this time, being viewed as less than, impure, and deformed for her multicultural heritage, and the way that women are viewed and treated during 17th century Japan, but she also has to wrestle with how external elements influence her internal processes.
So what you're basically saying is that Mizu is letting the haters get to her. She's letting other people rob her of her peace. Kind of tragic when you think about it.
Exactly. This is the reason why she's seeking revenge to begin with. I believe that Mizu feels that she was deprived of a quote-unquote normal life.
That's so sad.
Mizu has lived a hard life. She suffers, and the reason why she suffers is because of the 4 European men who were in Japan illegally. Interestingly enough, not because of the bigotry of the people who existed in Japan during this time. Deep down inside, I do not believe that Mizu's main goal is to fight against the injustices that exist during her time period, to attempt to change the hearts and minds of the people in Japan. I believe that she would give anything to simply conform to what is rather than making some radical change. She knows that she can't do this, so she lashes out in frustration. She lacks any real power to control her life. She can never change who she is on the genetic level, and she's a woman. It's also mentioned in the series that women are not permitted to seek vengeance as men are during this time. Again, Mizu lacks control over her entire life. She was forced to pretend to be a boy ever since she was a child, giving her a complicated sense of identity as it pertains to her gender. The series told the story of how she fell in love with her husband. We know that she struggled to be a wife initially, but eventually conformed to the role. It was also alluded to that she was developing romantic feelings for Taigen. Now, there was an interesting interview in The Hollywood Reporter where they asked the creators of Blue Eye Samurai questions, and essentially what the interviewer asks is, why did you want the story to center around the experiences of a woman during 17th century Japan instead of going with a traditional male lead? The interviewer also brings up how Mizu's gender was initially obscured, leading to the idea that Mizu could be non-binary, but it's ultimately revealed that she is a woman navigating a man's world. Now, Michael Green, one of the creators of Blue Eye Samurai, responded by saying,
"To have a character like that who lives in a time who wouldn't necessarily have a vocabulary to consider her gender. It's been really heartening and interesting hearing people see the show now thinking about what Mizu might identify as. Referring to Mizu as she or they, that's amazing. We made sure in the first episode, when people were reading it, that it was a misleading read. We said her gender was Mizu. We threw in a they or two because we wanted the experience of the reader to be a surprise at the end, that they never saw that coming. The reader would have to contend with their own presumption that clearly anyone who's this badass must be a guy, while the view of the first episode doesn't really give that same experience. I think that was one of the reasons people found it a story worth reading. They had to contend with their own misperception, perhaps, because they didn't know she was a woman until the last page."
I think the thing I enjoy the most about this show is that it has multiple layers. It's not just a story about revenge and how self-destructive that path can be, but the series talks about how difficult it can be to love and accept yourself, even when the world seemingly doesn't.
Very well said, Ava. I couldn't agree more. Mizu is a character, a person who keeps trying to do things all on her own. But the small victories that she does get all come because she had help. She had developed bonds throughout the entirety of season 1, and it's unfortunate, but interesting at the same time, that at the end of season 1, she's alone once more. It seems that there are yet lessons for Mizu to still learn, which I think makes for a compelling series. Now, time of recording, I don't know if season 2 of Blue Eye Samurai has been greenlit, but I surely hope that it is, because I must admit I am thoroughly enjoying this world and I cannot wait to see where Mizu's journey takes her. And if season 2 is greenlit and we get support from viewers like you, then we'll definitely cover the new season. Until then, I am your humble host Mello.
And I'm your girl Ava.
We're signing out. We'll catch you guys on the next episode, but remember, never stop dreaming.
Don't forget to subscribe and rate the video. Thank you all so much for the support. It really means a lot to us.
Later.